Hey everybody, it's Mentor Julie with today's lesson post about the Waste Not game. You're getting me live today because I had thumb surgery this week, so I'm not very good at typing at the moment. Anyway, if you're like me, you hate to waste food, and typically we buy more than we can use. It's part of our mentality, and unless you live in a country like I do, where you shop more frequently and buy in smaller amounts, you usually have a crisper, or as we call it, a rotter, full of wilting food in the refrigerator. So here's some ideas that I have, ways that I like to not waste that food. First of all, of course, try buying less. This is where your meal planning really comes in handy, because then you only buy what you need. You can freeze some things, and other things maybe not. I like to take some of my wilting fruit, apples specifically, and make a kind of chutney where you cube the apple and throw in some raisins, and you cook that down with some cinnamon and some allspice and maybe a little bit of vinegar, and add in some curry powder. It makes a great accompaniment to some of the lighter meats. Or if you're not a meat eater, you can use it with some cheeses or crackers, and that's quite yummy. Bananas always go well in a protein shake. The other thing I like to do with bananas when they get soft is to mash them up and almost like a liquid, and then mix in an egg and make that into a protein pancake. It's a really quick thing. It's like 5 minutes. It's a great breakfast, and it keeps you happy until lunchtime. With veggies, one of my favorite things is to make what I call garbage soup. I know that may not sound very appealing, but you can take all of your wilty veggies and throw them in with some broth or some stock. I like to make a homemade stock and keep it in the freezer. And then you just see what you can do with herbs and spices. It's a great way to experiment. It's pretty hard to go wrong because there aren't too many veggies that don't taste good in that kind of soup. I've even used spinach and kale, and then some more sturdy leafy lettuces like escarole. It goes really nicely in soup, believe it or not. You add those a little bit closer to the end so they don't get too mushy. And then the other thing is, maybe you could try making your own homemade V8. If you have a high-speed blender, you can try throwing in all your wilty veggies and adding some, again, herbs and spices, and see what that tastes like. Maybe a little bit of a little can of tomatoes, or some fresh tomatoes if you have them. And that way you've got something portable and nutritious, and then you haven't wasted your food. Anyway, lots and lots of ideas. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share below, and I hope you have really great luck with playing the game.